I told you a while back to remember the name Niels Bohr. He's pretty famous for coming up with this kind of model of an atom called the Bohr model. Whenever you see a model that has rings, like Saturn, we're talking about a Bohr model. In your project, you guys have been working with Bohr models, and you might need a little bit more instruction about how to make them work. So what I've got for you here is a tutorial. So first of all, we know that the center area here is called the nucleus. So you should make sure that you have labeled nucleus on your work. Look at my beautiful handwriting. You have this area here called the first energy level. So label that. I'm just going to write first because it takes me so long. As you count out, we go to the next one, and it's called the second energy level. And then we've got our third. You can have even more than 3, but we're not going to worry about more than that because it just gets more and more complicated. Now, how do you figure out in a Bohr model where the electrons go? Well, here's one way. We know that in the first energy level, we can put 2 electrons. So you would go ahead and draw one here and one here. Okay? In this particular model, let's assume that this atom actually has, I don't know, 12 electrons, so we'll draw that many in. Once this level's full, we go on to the second energy level, which can hold up to 8 electrons. Starting at the top, you draw 1 electron. Going around the clock, we're at 3 o'clock. There's another electron. Now we're at 6. And now we're at 9 o'clock. I can fit up to 8, so I'm going to draw back at 12 a pair. Electrons like to be in pairs. Back to 3 o'clock, there's its pair. 6 o'clock, there's its pair. And 9 o'clock. Now I've got 2 on my first level, 8 on my second level, which forces me out to the third level. I've got 2 plus 8, that's 10, but I need 12. So I'm going to start at the top, 1 and 2 for 12 electrons. That is a simple tutorial on how to figure this out. Now there are a couple tricks. The way I remember this is by thinking about a Bohr model like a wedding. You know, a wedding. Da 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 da, da 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 da. Our wedding is a destination wedding at an amazing hotel with a really great pool. The nucleus is the swimming pool. Now think about, who's the most important person at a wedding? Obviously it's the bride. Oh yeah, and the groom. They're going to get the best room in the hotel, really close to the pool. Here they are, bride and groom, hanging out in this really nice hotel room that's poolside. Then we think about who's the next most important. Maybe it's the parents of the groom, parents of the bride, or maybe there are some bridesmaids. Those folks get to hang out in the next best rooms, the second energy level. 4 couples, or 8 total electrons, can be in these rooms. Then we've got other guests at our wedding, and they get to hang out here in the third energy level, or even beyond. Sometimes in this outer energy level, you might have 1 lonely electron. That's like your weird Uncle Larry. Every family's got a weird uncle. So when you're trying to remember how to fill in these levels, just remember, we always start with the bride and groom. They're here in this close level, close to the nice pool of the nucleus. Then we go to our next most important people. Get 8 folks here. We get into this outer level, and this level is considered full with 8. There is sort of a weird thing because it can hold 18, but we'll talk about that later. It has to do with the third energy level having extra energy levels. Just know that for our purposes, we will only have some electrons that go up to 8. Hope you know more about Bohr models than you did before, and I hope it wasn't too boring. Get it? Ha ha ha.